Hello, hello, welcome. My name's Deb. I like to share the human experience to help others understand their human experience. Ultimately, this place here called Earth is pretty crazy. And I think a lot of us are looking for a little bit of help, a little bit of reassurance, and a little bit of guidance. So here I am. And this channel is called Awaken with Deb. It's kind of a talk therapy. We talk about human experiences and we relate those to lessons, we relate those to self development, and we relate them to spiritual growth. And on the aspect of spiritual growth, it is an awakening channel. We are talking about getting in touch with our soul and our spirit and understanding the difference of the matrix and the 3D world, the programming, the NPCs versus main character versus soul essence, force versus flow and faith over fear. Like those type of things is what we're here for. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, then give this video a like, comment below of something, give me a suggestion going forward of something that interests you, that draws you to these categories, and subscribe because I do go live randomly at times. And if you're subscribed, you'll get a notification on that. Other than that, I am showing up for these videos daily in the morning. Sometimes I don't get them uploaded till afternoon due to whatever. And then in the evenings, I've been showing up at 7 p.m. Mountain Time for some live sessions. And so those live sessions they're there for Q&A, right? These videos are here for me to talk and discuss on subjects at my will, and then the evenings are for Q&A. Open it up for you. So come on out for that. It's basically a free coaching session. So show up for that with your questions, answers, concerns, curiosities, and we'll dive into those. So going forward, awakening is about soul calibration. And for some people, it happens all at once, and some people, it takes time. Most people, it takes time. And the reason I say that is because I feel like, oh, here's an interesting thought. Where were humans for a long time were very consistent with where they were with technology and standards and expectations and rules of life. And then once technology came onto the scene, it's been exponential growth from generation to generation. So there's generations alive that have witnessed not having electricity, that have witnessed war and the Great Depression. And then there's generations that were the children of those people. And and those children also experienced hardships. They decided, like, hoarding and saving and looking out for yourself. That was those generations. And then we have generations where technology started to come onto the scene and things were a little bit easier, or credit was a little more accessible. So we were able to live a little more carefree. And then consumerism exploded and we were able to get cheap things, and there's a cell phone in everybody's pocket. Like, the exponential growth within humans is not easy for humans to digest as a human being and species. Like, this is an avatar that our souls are in, and it takes time. Well, let's see, where was I going through all that? Like, this time in humanity is probably one of the biggest ones because we have generations that grew up without technology and we have generations that are growing up with technology. So you're going to have this divide of population that has completely different mindsets and structures, beliefs, and programming. And that's what it all is. We are basically programs. Whether you want to be in the matrix or not in the matrix, it's still a program and it's still technology that we need to take care of. And so for most of us, we are running on old programs. Most of us have the mindset that, like, newer generations, they can believe that. They can see it and they can believe it because they've been around technology and understand the terminology, that they can understand that maybe we are just a larger computer, the micro of the macro type thing. We had to be created somehow. And so, with all that, with the beliefs and the programming comes what can our nervous system actually hold? And there was a time when anxiety came up in my life, and I was like, I've never been anxious in my life. Why am I all of a sudden anxious now? And that was very peculiar. And then there were times where I've been through depression and then times where I wasn't going through depression. And when I wasn't going through depression, I thought I was done with depression for good. I thought I was never going to have to experience that again in my entire life. And then when it came up a second time or a third time, I was like, there's more to this than I think. So I think what it comes down to is, can you handle the truth? Can our nervous systems hold the truth? Because with with the uptick of ADHD and anxiety and depression, that tells me that we're not regulating our nervous systems fast enough to be able to handle the information that we're being exposed to at the rate that we're being exposed to it. And that comes for awakening. It's happening at a very quick rate that more and more people are awakening because there's higher and higher energies coming in, and the earth is doing whatever the earth is doing, whether it's switching poles or dragons from the inner earth are waking up, aliens are coming into the solar system and shaking things up. Like, who knows? There's a lot of different stories being played out right now. And it all just comes down to, what can your nervous system handle? Because if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling stressed out, if you're feeling lost or confused or hopeless, if you're super worried about the future, then that's your nervous system trying to talk to you. And with this channel, I would like to think that that's what we're doing here, is we're calibrating our nervous system. We're calibrating back to our soul. And first, that's going to take awareness. I'm going to take a drink of my coffee. Just one moment. Humans have gone through a lot of hardship. And it's our DNA has a lot of danger built into it. I know I can feel it from my DNA, my past generations, or even past lives. It's being safe can feel triggering to the nervous system because we're not used to it. And love can feel triggering to the nervous system because people aren't used to it. And sometimes people think it's manipulation because they don't trust it. And putting all the information as far as a spiritual awakening onto our nervous system, it really is best to be done in layers. Like, you can't do it all at once. People that have awakenings all at once are those that end up in mental hospitals because they go through a period of psychosis and they didn't integrate right. They didn't go through levels. They didn't find mentors. Like, I know this because I literally was almost there. There have been times where I was like, I I don't know what reality is anymore. And I felt like I was going through moments of psychosis. And for someone who thinks that they're completely sane and perfect, that was really scary to know that I was like, I don't know. I know I don't have control right now. Like, what is happening? So our nervous system has limits. And within this channel, it's my hopes to be able to help guide you through those limits and maybe even break it down into systems. And so, if we were to break it down into different systems, we would be breaking it down with what our physical body is capable of, what our, let's see, hold on. Do I have this written down somewhere? I might have this written down. Yeah. If we do it in layers, if we receive the truth in layers, I think it will be more digestible for people and not as shocking. So if awakening is something that you feel called to, but it feels big and scary and like, it's because you're it's big and scary, and then it's going to shut you down to receiving. So we want to be able to receive. And the first step is preparing our vessel, our body. And that's diet, that's exercise, that's sleep, that's water, that's nutrition. And then after that we have our emotional field, and maybe we even have people like to put the emotional field before the mental field. But in this day and age, the way we have so much being put into our mental field, such as Instagram, Netflix, all the mental things, right? Like, how many times do you have a song being replayed in your head? Or do you watch a TV series and then your brain is like thinking about the TV series? Oh, who did what? Whatever. Like, are you paying attention to your thoughts after you watch TV? What's going on? Are you hopping on Facebook and getting in political arguments back and forth with just this phone in your hand while these people are also who knows where else, right? Arguing with you while they're sitting on the toilet. Like, there's there's a lot of clutter and a lot of noise that needs to be cleared out. And then once we take care of some of those layers, the body, the mental, the physical, and we can get to the emotional. But I feel like we can't really get to the emotional until we clear out the mental clutter. And once we get to the emotional, like, those are our guides. The emotions are not burdens. Yes, it sucks to have anxiety attacks when you have to get to work. Yes, it sucks to have depression when you just need to get out of bed. But those are our guides. Those are things that are telling us that there's something not aligned in our energy and our soul is not calibrated. And that's what self-development is calibrating our soul to be aligned to what feels good, to where we fit in the puzzle of this huge mandala of what life on earth is, even though we're our own bubble and our own projection. So I also am very confused about the paradoxical existence that is earth, right? Yeah, so I feel like the mental lens has to come before the emotional field, because the mental lens, it it encompasses our thoughts, it encompasses our patterns and our emotions and our imagination. Our imagination and our thoughts create patterns, which create our life, which create our emotions. So I really do feel like the mental lens has multiple steps, because then we also have like our limiting beliefs. A lot of people will say something and I'm like, well, yeah, with that attitude, yes. Okay, if you think you can't, then you can't. It's as simple as that. It's the limiting beliefs. You have to take care of the limiting beliefs. If you can't imagine it and visualize it and believe it, then it's never going to happen for you. It's as simple as that. And we want, with mental clarity, we want to switch limiting beliefs into possibility. We want to change overthinking into clarity. Do you really have to overthink? Every time you find yourself overthinking, just stop. Just stop and ask yourself, what are you doing right now? Do you really need to be thinking right now? And are those thoughts really going to get you anywhere? If you had a solution, could you do anything with that solution at that moment and at that time? Are you going to even get to a real solution without talking to that person? Can you really create a solution in your head, in your imagination? Possibilities, right? And then once we get past those, the body basics, the emotional, the emotional field and the mental lens, and we get to the soul level. And the soul level is the identity behind the stories. That's the dissolving of the ego. The soul level is noticing that everything you've ever been has always been just an avatar character that you decided to play, but yet you don't need to be that character, and yet you can be any character you want to be. And the soul level is just understanding the peace and the steady baseline underneath all of that. The soul level is understanding the connection to God and feeling the guidance. It's feeling the flow instead of forcing things. It's knowing that God's plan is the plan and you're not the plan. That's why overthinking never works. We just want the clarity and the trust that what's meant for us will come to us because we're all one and we're all connected and everything really is working out for us and it looks out for us. But also, the universe is a mirror. So if you're thinking negatively, negativity is going to come back at you. If you're thinking positive, positivity is going to come back at you. But if you've been thinking for a negative, if you've been thinking negatively for a while, it might take some time to switch that pendulum to get back going the other direction because it is a pendulum and it is a thought pattern and it is a loop and it is going to take time. And that's where consistency and resiliency and dedication and patience and faith is going to be your best friends, are going to be your best friends. Grammar. So this video, what was this video about? This video is about soul calibration. It's about understanding that the truth is going to come in layers. And if you don't slow down and don't take it in layers, then you run the risk of overstimulating your nervous system, of overloading it. We are electrical creatures. And if you put it takes time to upgrade your ampage and voltage capabilities. And as you go through these layers, you're never done. You always go back and refine them deeper and deeper. And that's why done is better than perfect, because we try to get it perfect, but don't get it perfect. Like just worry about getting it done and then worry about refining. It's never going to be perfect. Done is better than perfect, and it allows you to get a foundation so that you can refine. And through refining, I feel like that's where the self gratification comes in. That's where you feel like, yeah, I'm doing it. And that's the emotion that we want to go for, right? Is that emotion of like, I got this. I know what I'm doing. I feel clear in what I'm doing, and I feel capable of what I'm doing. My name's Deb, and I'm here to help others understand soul calibration in an easy, digestible way, breaking it down into layers that make sense. So if any of this resonated with you, go ahead and comment below. Let me know which part, like for the algorithms, and subscribe so that you get notified when I go live. The lives are basically free opportunities for live coaching, right? Like show up, put a thing in a chat, and you don't have to chat back and forth. Just give me a subject, something you're curious about, and we'll dive into it. So don't miss those opportunities. It's 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's 1 hour ahead of California, 2 hours behind New York, and about 8 hours behind the European area. I know I got a handful, if not a dozen or so, of people over there that wake up in the middle of the night to join. So that's how amazing these sessions are. People are feeling seen, people are feeling heard. If you have questions, concerns, and you just don't know where to turn, like I'm kind of a jack of all trades, it's tapped into the God source of all knowing, but I only know it when I need to know it. I only need to know it when you show up and ask about it. So I will see you all tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Until then, a new video will come out every day. So make sure you subscribe to get the messages coming to you when they're meant to come to you. Have a blessed day.